Hey folks, I'm Mr. Hartzler and I want to talk to you in this video about making or graphing simple equations, coordinate points, and piecewise functions all in Desmos. Something that's really easy to do, doesn't require a lot of effort at all, and we'll hop right in. So first I have Desmos up, comes from a quick Google search, and they default to one row, and I can keep clicking and getting as many rows as I like. I can always exit out of those or use the backspace button. Let's do a simple one to begin with. Y equals, let's do 2x plus 1. There's my graph. I can zoom in and out using my scroll wheel or the buttons on the right. For some reason, I have a lot of students that will either zoom way in or way out. The nice thing is if you click the little house, it zooms into a 10 by 10 grid. If you want to get a little bit more fancy, if you're a teacher or you're doing some kind of presentation, you can click the little wrench up in the top right corner. You can click projector mode. That makes everything a little more bold, makes all of your coordinate points a little bit nicer. Anywhere you cross an x-axis or y-axis or another graph, it will provide a little gray dot. You can click on that. It'll show you what that coordinate point is. Comes in kind of handy. You can click on your graph anywhere and drag it around, and that will show you what that coordinate point is at exactly that location. From the gear wheel, I never do the reverse contrast, but it's an option. And you can turn on and off your major axis and axis numbers. So if you just want a regular coordinate grid, you can turn everything off and have it right there. You can change your axes manually in here too. Most of that's not necessary for anything. I'm going to leave it in projector mode because it might make it easier for you to see some of the stuff going on. You'll notice that I don't have that little house anymore in the top right corner. That's because I'm already at the house location. So I'm going to zoom into the house, square it up all nice and good. Let's be a little bit more complicated. Let's do some coordinate points. So parenthesis 3, 2. That one shows up on my graph. I can change the color here. Let's do that quick. Click on your little gear. And the colors here, one's black, one's red. I can click on red and change it to purple or green or black or blue. All kinds of options. I can turn them on or off as well. Sometimes maybe I want this point here, but I don't want it for a different part, or I don't want to erase these because I might use them later, but I don't want to see it right now. If you click on that color, it will turn that graph off. And you can turn on and off the label. Hopefully you saw that. The next thing is more coordinate points. Sometimes it's obnoxious to keep typing parenthesis, comma, and the other parenthesis. So I'm going to hit the little plus button in the top left. I'm going to click table. Brings up my x's and my y's. 32. I just keep hitting enter, or I can keep clicking elsewhere and it'll keep popping these things up. It will start to kind of anticipate what you have going on. And I can do the same thing over here. 23 you'll notice didn't show up because it's really high up there. And you can do things like this to help speed some things up. You can show more coordinate points a lot faster. Sometimes it's nice and neat to have it in a table format because that's how you maybe did it in your math classes. You wrote it out in a table. The next one, and this applies directly to my algebra classes right now because this is what we're going to be doing on Monday. And this is piecewise functions. So let's do a graph like 2x plus 1, but I only want it for a certain chunk of space. I only want it, let's do between -2 and +2. We just want that piece of it, nothing else. So now I'm going to stay in the same row. I'm going to do the squiggly bracket, the left squiggly bracket. And you have to hold the shift button, and that's the button below the minus key and above the apostrophe. And let's say that we want between -2 and x is going to be greater than that -2, and x is less than the +2. And there you go. If you'll notice now, I click on the end, and it says 2, undefined. Why is that? Well, that's because I didn't tell it that this is equal to. So I can go right next to it and just hit equals, made it greater than or equal to. Same thing over here. So now it is included on those dots. And you'll notice it provides me that coordinate point now. It doesn't just say undefined. It can be kind of helpful. And I can do another graph from there. Let's do -x minus 2. And again, squiggly bracket. And let's do negative, and let's do negative infinity. I'm actually just going to type in the word infinity, and it changes that to the actual math symbol. It's awesome. And is negative infinity is less than x is less than negative 2. Negative 2, there we go. And you'll notice here that it overlaps, or not, doesn't overlap, but we're going from the left all the way to that point, and it picks up where the next graph is. And that is really handy. But maybe I want to make my screen a little bit more full. These Chromebooks, tiny screen. I can hit these 2 chevrons pointing to the left, and it shoves my graphs out of the way. As a teacher, this is nice because I can have the graphs up, and the kids don't know what the equations are. The next thing, oh, that's all my things. That's all that I wanted to show you. Again, you can turn these on and off by just checking these colors, and you can change the colors by hitting the gear and then changing the color whatever you want to change it to. You can also change it to different dotted lines. Don't know why you want to, but there it is. Hopefully this was helpful. If it was, click that like button, subscribe if you want to see more, and leave comments if there's something else that I didn't show you that you would like to see. Have a great day, folks.